everyone, it's Cindy. Welcome back to Studioloo. So I'm definitely a little bit behind the last week or two on a few things. So I'm hoping to do just a casual video catching up on Marguerite Miller Collage Weekly Planner weeks 18 and 19 this week. So let's just jump into it, and then I will talk to you a bit about why I'm behind. So for week 18, find a special photo that can serve as the focus of your collage. Look for additional papers that can enhance what you see in the photo. So, while I typically am always, focusing on my kids as that special kind of focal, point of my life, I grabbed some other things today. So I was thinking that I would actually use a picture of me and my husband. So yeah, let's do that instead. And I have grabbed a few things here. So I've got this sort of pink paper. I think it's kind of like a lovey-dovey kind of paper. And yeah, it's just going to be a big mush ball kind of video. Just kidding, no it won't. But yeah, I thought I would just do some casual kind of collaging. So yeah, we have had a little bit of illness going through our house. It sort of started with myself. I somehow picked up a norovirus, like a stomach bug. No fun at all. And it was like a few days of that. I also, I was PCR tested for COVID a couple of times now, because I wanted to definitely check and make sure, because I have not had the dreaded scourge yet, and I do not want it. And what my doctor told me is that there's a higher instance right now of stomach bug, because it is sort of become a pretty well-known after effect of people who are getting COVID. A couple of weeks after the cold symptoms go, they seem to be picking up this stomach norovirus because of their weakened immunity and all of that from being sick. So that's a thing. Plus, unfortunately, in Canada, our numbers, although they're not being tracked by our government, are considerably climbing all the time. They're very high, and while people are not losing their lives, there's a lot of very seriously ill people, and a lot of after effects that are seemingly permanent. So I'm very worried. I'm sort of limiting myself a little more again than what I had been, because I just feel like it's kind of this perfect bad storm of politics, an election year in my province, bad government oversight. So yeah, it's just a lot of things that I'm uncomfortable with, and the lifting of mask mandates has made things really untenable for us. So I'm just going to kind of do my own thing and yeah, try to not get sick, because I don't want any of it. I'm just very sad for kids right now. I think a lot of kids are getting sick, and a lot of kids are having, pretty catastrophic after effects. So unfortunately, one of them is in my family. Okay, so yeah, I thought that'd be a really cute little label to add there. And this says Stories of Adventure, and that definitely would explain my life pretty well with my husband. We met online, if you believe that, but it was before the days of intentional online dating, really. It was before the days of, dating websites and all of that. We met through a very old blogging site called Diaryland, where you would write an online diary. And I ended up finding kind of a fun, artsy community there, and a lot of people who are into film and writing and visual art, all sorts of cool people there. And so I I met him because he was into film and comedy, and we just had a very similar like mindset on a lot of things, and we were just friends for many, many years. And then he hired me to create his design layout for his web page, because I was doing web design at the time. And so from there, like, we just kind of stayed close as good friends and stuff. And then I don't know, over time, like, we both had some changes in our lives that sort of drew us a little closer together. And then we ended up deciding to try to like meet one another, and he came to visit me here in Canada. And then from there, I guess things just kind of continued to go well, and we had a long distance relationship for a while because he was I was working, I think I was finishing out, no, I wasn't doing school at the time, but I was working, and I was building my current career. And he was working and just getting started in like a new program at university. So we ended up for a few years just doing the long distance thing. And oops, sorry, I'm just trying to get some paper out of here. And that was difficult, but also kind of like exciting. It was a lot of things. And then finally we took the plunge, and he came to visit me, and we decided it would be, you know, for a little bit of a longer term. So he packed up his things, he left his job, and he came here and stayed with me. And then not very long after, he proposed. He'd had the ring for quite a long time, and yeah, so that's how that went. And then all these years later, we've been together for almost 11 years, married. We're still pretty happy. So now with 2 little ones. Okay, yeah, I think I just kind of want to use some just casual bits of collage here and there. And now, so I was talking about the ick in the house. So yeah, I clearly started it. Then everybody was fine, and then like my daughter started feeling kind of under the weather, and she has like a cold, and you know, it's such a pain because I have to COVID test her and COVID test everybody, you know, and it's not fun testing the kids. It really isn't. But they've become pretty amenable to the whole situation. So we're all negative still after days and days, and PCR tests, so I know that we don't have it, thankfully. But my doctor also mentioned that in general there's just been a lot of cases of lots of different illnesses because our immune systems are changing a little bit because we've been in isolation, and now people are of course getting together everywhere and not wearing masks. And so yeah, it's we're probably going to be catching up on a few illnesses for a little while, which I'm kind of feeling done with. I don't know. What else do I want on here? Maybe a little bit of parchment that I've painted. Mm-hmm. But now I seem to have a sinus infection, which is lovely. Just can't win. But also not uncommon after having, you know, a virus that, you know, kind of makes you sick. Very common. So I'm just, you know, I'm hobbling along here. I'm going to be okay, but I had to whine a little bit, you know. Maybe a little bit of silver paper would be kind of cool. And I'm so glad it's Friday. I have had the busiest week ever. And then my boss was supposed to travel internationally this week, which I haven't been excited for him to have to do that. But, you know, the constraints of capitalism in the workplace here, it's just a little ridiculous what we're expected to do no matter what. And so he was scheduled to go on his flight, but about a week and a half ago, he actually tested positive for COVID. Him and his wife and his daughters got it. And so today he was supposed to leave tomorrow to go to Europe, and he is still testing positive. So he's not going to be able to go because the country he was traveling to will not take you with without a negative COVID test. Thank goodness some countries are still being intelligent that way. So yeah, and you can test positive like up to around 90 days is the latest that I've heard. So I'm actually glad he's staying, because I like my people to be safe and sound. And it's just unnecessary, honestly. Okay, I think I'm happy with that as is. Yeah, but the big thing I'm looking forward to is everybody getting healthy over the weekend. I think everyone will be over the last of everything over the weekend so that the kids can get back on their routine next week, because they are just wild. I mean, wild this week with like over hyper activity kind of behavior, because they're so used to going to like their little kids group, and like, yeah, it's been a lot. Okay, so now we're going to move on to week 19. For this one, the prompts are dancing, a label, the next noun you hear someone saying in whichever form. So when I was collecting things for this, I was listening to Carrie from Ulterior Motives with Carrie, her YouTube channel, a lovely little channel if you want to check it out. It's a great channel. She's making today some denim, like textile art beads from denim. They're really cool if you want to check it out. They'd be a great addition to like your journal dangle, or lots of other things. If you make jewelry, if you spin yarn and you add interesting things to it, lots of things, anything you'd use a bead for, and they're really cool. So she was talking and she said the word knot, and so I chose that as my noun, and something in black and white, a geometrical shape, and the bonus is something stapled. So I haven't collected everything for this yet, but I did collect a few things. So we're just going to kind of wing it and take a little bit more time in this video than I normally do in these videos. So I found from an old book this picture of a couple. It's a black and white picture, so we check that box. And they're dancing on a dock, and it's on their wedding day. And let me just get it cut out here. It's Doug and Mary. And so, yeah, they're dancing, and he, does this handstand, and it's really cute. So I thought I'd use that as my focal point. I also grabbed this ampersand label, because I thought, like, Doug and Mary, pretty cute. Okay. We still need geometric shapes and a knot and something stapled. Okay, so I also want to add maybe something interesting in black and white. And I've got this kind of book page that I like the linear kind of details on it, the way that it's illustrated. So I'm going to put some of that in the background before we put that down. Yeah, and I'm thinking today I want to go, I have a few things going on, but I would like to make a trip out to IKEA if I could. I want to buy 2 new bathroom cabinets so I can reorganize my one bathroom. The exciting stuff of life. But that is a maybe plan for today. And then I have to ship packages. So if you've ordered from my shop and you haven't already received notification, your package is headed out today. And I also need to take a bit of time. So I've had a lot, not a lot, but a few questions now from people asking me about like my shipping. Why don't I ship to this country and that country? So just so you know, I'm in Canada, and so the thing about being in Canada is that I'm not in the US, where they have like, actually extremely inexpensive shipping rates. I mean, I'm actually glad about that because their whole system is extremely unsustainable, and that's why their post office is suffering so poorly. But in Canada, shipping is a little expensive, like it is in the rest of the world. But that being said, so I set up my Etsy shop so that I only ship within Canada and the US. That being said, however, if there's ever anything you're interested in my shop and you try to add it to your cart and it won't ship to your country, please feel free to send me a message on Etsy. I am always willing to ship it to you. I have an advantage in that I do have an access to a courier company that allows me to save a little bit on the standard shipping. So your shipping rate may not be as exorbitant as you think, you know, and I can collect your information and I can plug it all into my courier system and I can spit out a real quote for you on shipping if you're interested in something. I'm very, you know, flexible that way and communicative, and, you know, I will make sure that if I can get it to you, I will. And I obviously won't pressure you in any way to feel like you have to proceed if it's too much, because I completely understand. There's lots of stuff that I would love to buy, but I can't because it's just not sold outside of like Japan or the UK, you know, places that I love certain things. So, you know, we do what we can. But I have been lucky enough to work with several lovely customers who and you know, that have become very friendly and actually frequent customers because we've worked, you know, together to get the package to them, and they feel comfortable with how I've you know, worked with them. So that's a good thing. Okay, so what is this? I found this piece of random paper the other day and I can't remember what it was, but it was inside a book. I think it's like maybe hairstyling stuff. What is this? Spring Beauty Coloring Book. May 1964. Oh, so like it's literally a coloring book, like a stylist's coloring book. So here's the picture of the person, and then they did a coloring page that you could color. So there's a few of those in there. Put those back into my Tuesday 10 pile, although I may use them for something. I'm kind of planning a journal that I could use that for, maybe. I want to make some that's what hexagons for that. Geometrical shape. Okay, that's more than I need, but I'll throw the rest into my little bits and bobs. Just gonna go around the edge of these with some black. Okay. Yeah, I'm feeling really like behind on videos. I want to do another mask making session with you know, where I'm watching something random and decide to mask make. I have a couple things in mind that I've been watching over the last couple days. I also wanted to give a shout out to Marnell at Mimi's Keepsakes. You should definitely check out her channel because she just did a flip through of her journal that she made from my tutorial series on the flea market style traveler's notebook journal, and it turned out amazing. And I really just love the kind of the theme that she ended up with. The cover is really cool. Where do I want to put that? I'm not sure. I feel like maybe I might like it off the side a little. I'm going to just do one where I cut it in half. slightly in half. But yeah, her channel's a lot of fun, and she's a fellow Canadian. I have been discovering so many Canadian journal makers recently that it makes me wish that things were a little different, and I would organize like some kind of a junk journal, like, you know, get together where we could all bring stuff and, you know, have a little retreat and hang out, and maybe even go to some local thrift shops. Okay, so now I need to do the knot. Maybe in the future, you know, maybe that's something in the future. Want maybe some book page, regular old book page with text, which I have over here. Use this one. Okay. I'm wondering if I can sort of, I'm thinking about knot, the word knot for the noun. I'm just going to crinkle this piece of paper here, just to kind of give it a little bit of wear and tensile strength, so that the fibers in the paper are going to be a little more flexible from being kind of kneaded together a little. And that will allow me to then tie a knot. Okay, and then I want to trim it here, I think. Maybe here as well. And then I would add that there, and that would be my noun, and then I will staple it, because the bonus is something stapled. How far? Maybe over here, actually. Here we go. So there's my little something stapled, and so we have dancing, a label, the noun, which was not, something in black and white, a geometrical shape, and something stapled. So that is it for me for today. And yeah, I guess I should probably fill out the rest of May and be ready hopefully next week to be caught up fully. We'll see how it goes. Thank you for joining me for this video, just chit-chatting and working on my Collage Weekly Planner. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing me do these two simple little collages. And we'll talk again very soon. Take care and bye for now.